Hey there, welcome to FlowFit Yoga Online and welcome to your practice. My name is Lexus and I'm excited to guide you today on a 15-minute mobility flow, really focused for those of you that may be sitting at a desk for a long period of time, or maybe you've traveled recently, essentially for those of you that have been sitting for a while. We're going to emphasize some of the areas that tend to become issues when we do sit still for a long time, such as tightness in the front of the hips, tightness also in the upper spine area, back body, stuff like that. So the only two props that I would recommend, however it's not extremely essential, are two blocks. If you don't have a block, then maybe a water bottle or just something to kind of support yourself upright, since for sitting we tend to round and our posture becomes rounded, so sometimes it's nice to have a block, especially if we come into a low lunge position, to kind of keep your chest lifted rather than struggling to reach for the floor. Other than that, that's about it. Let's get started. Go ahead and find a comfortable position on your back. We're going to start laying down and then we'll make our way up to hands and knees. You may or may not want a towel or some kind of padding to put on your knees because we will be on our knees for some time. All right. Okay, so once you find a nice comfortable position laying down, take a second to maybe just windshield wiper out your knees. Just notice. Take a second to check in, notice any areas of tension. Hips, shoulders, chest, neck. And then come to a position where you can feel a little bit at ease. Take a second to connect to your breath. We're not going to be here long. And start to pull in some deeper breaths in through your nose. Push the air down to your low belly, low back. Might even feel your low back expand on the floor underneath you. Exhale completely. Push out all the excess air that gets left over from shallow breaths. Breathe in deep through your nose. Exhale completely. Let your shoulders sink in, your hips get a little heavier, belly softens. One more time. Breathe in deep. Exhale. Let it all go. And continue those deep breaths throughout class, just to bring a sense of fluidity, a sense of ease to your system. Rinsing and washing out any bits of tension through your breath as we move. On your next inhale, go ahead and stretch your arms up over your head and your legs out forward. Give yourself a full body stretch. Start to roll your wrists and ankles around in some circles. Open up your joints in the hands and feet. Get a nice exhale and pull your knees into your chest. Let your thighs squeeze out all the air out of your lungs. Maybe rock your spine left and right. Feel into the left side, right side of your spine. Do that a few more times. On your next inhale, open up front and back, nice and long. Maybe shimmy your hips left and right. Exhale, pull your knees into your chest. One last time. Inhale, open up. Feel the stretch in your front body. Exhale, knees into the chest. Feel the stretch in your back body. Keep your knees into your chest. Bring your arms out to a T, palms facing up or down. Lower your knees over to the left. Get a little spinal twist. Take a big breath into your low belly, low back. On your next inhale, lift your knees up. Let them lower to the other side on your exhale. Stay here for one deep breath. Exhale, relax your shoulders, belly, hips. Good. Pull your knees into your chest. Give yourself a big squeeze, big breath in. And start to rock yourself forward and back, forward and back. And if that's not feeling good on your spine today, more than welcome to just lower your knees over to one side and push yourself up to a seat. Let's go ahead and come to a tabletop position. This is where maybe a pad, blanket, something, you could fold up your mat to go underneath your knees if you want. Make sure you have both of your blocks at the top two corners of your mat if you have blocks. Just go ahead and bring your hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Let your belly drop to the floor. Look up to the ceiling. Arch your back. Feel the stretch in your belly and take a big breath in. Exhale. Push into your hands and knees evenly. Round your spine up to the ceiling. Pull your chin into your chest. Feel the stretch in the back of your shoulders. Do that with your breath a few times. Inhale, let your belly arch. Feel the stretch in the front, the lift of your chin. And exhale, feel the stretch in the back as you round and push your spine maybe up and back to the ceiling. And now if you tend to type a lot, or if you've been driving, you may want to turn, one hand around the opposite direction so fingertips are facing the knees, and maybe do some cat-cows like that and just kind of explore how your forearm feels. And then switch hands, turn the other hand around. Take a few cat-cows if that feels good, or some circles. You can turn both hands around if that feels good, maybe at a 45-degree angle if it's intense on your wrists. Nice, just about one more breath, whether you're rocking and rolling in these spinal extension flexions, or you got your hands turned a certain direction or stretching your forearms. All right, so good. Go ahead and come to a neutral tabletop, fingertips face forward, and extend your right leg back. Keep your toes on the ground and just push your heel back to stretch your calf. Just kind of feel into the back side of your right leg. Pull your belly into your spine a little bit, maybe take a cough so you can feel that abdominal muscle engage, and then lift your right heel off the ground, keeping a little bit of engagement in your right leg. Get a big breath. And then as you exhale, take your right foot over to the back left corner of your mat. Try to keep your left side body near your rib cage nice and long. Try not to crunch. And look back behind your left shoulder. Try to catch your eye to your right heel. Let's move in and out of those two positions. On your inhale, lift your right toes up and back to the original position. And then exhale, cross your right foot over, look back behind you. And just do that one more time. Inhale. Exhale, cross and look. Good. Lift your right leg up, swing your right leg out to the outside edge of your mat, tuck your left toes behind you, and shift your hips forward and back. Get a nice little stretch on your inner right thigh. And then walk your hands back to come up onto your left shin. Bring your right hand, slide it down your right thigh, lift your left arm up and over your left ear. Get a nice little stretch on your left side. Big breath. And then bring your hands to your hips. With some sturdiness, slide your right foot in front for a low lunge. This is where you can grab your blocks to lift your chest up, or just place your hands on your thigh. Get a little stretch in the front side of your left hip. More than welcome to shift your knee over your toes if that feels nice for your ankle. Big breath. And then keep your left hand either on the block, water bottle, floor. Lift your right arm up to the sky for a low lunge twist. And then start to circle your right arm in some really big circles. You can grab your shoulder and manually rotate your shoulder if that feels nice. And then point your right hand behind you, turn your palm towards the back of the room or behind you anywhere, and then bind your hand behind your back. Dial your nose maybe to the left or up and down. Find a sticky spot on your neck and take a few breaths. Nice. Release your right hand from your back. Come up into more of a lifted low lunge. Place your right hand somewhere on your thigh and lift your left arm up and over your left ear. Grab the back of your neck with your left hand. Gently lift your neck out of your shoulders. Take an inhale and feel the stretch on the left side of your armpit. Big breath. Then as you exhale, try not to tug so much on your neck. Just round gently your elbow to your right thigh. Inhale, open, elbow to the ceiling. Exhale, round. Just one more time. Inhale, open. Exhale, round. Good. Release your hand from the back of your neck. Grab your blocks or the floor. Shift your hips back and just straighten your front leg for a second. Front leg can be bent if you're feeling it in your back. Really isolate the back of the leg by taking a little micro bend. Might want to dial your toes right and left. If you're craving some movement, you can shift forward and back in these two positions. 1 or 2 more breaths. Good. And then gently step your right knee back to meet your left. Bring your hands to the floor, to the blocks on their lowest setting. Shift your weight forward so your shoulders are stacked over your wrists. Gently tuck your tailbone and let your hips glide down to the floor. Pull your shoulders down your spine. Push into the blocks to lift your chest forward and up. Get a nice big stretch on the front of your hips. Nice. And then on your exhale, tuck your toes. Pull your belly into your spine. Push the blocks forward, round your low back. And then come up to tabletop, whether your hands are on the blocks or the floor. Extend your left foot back, pedal your left heel. And then we're gonna move in and out of those two side bend positions. Lift your left leg up off the floor, a little abdominal engagement, belly pulled into spine. Extend your left foot to the back right corner of your mat. Take a look at that foot behind your right shoulder. And then inhale, send the left foot back directly behind your left hip. Exhale, cross it over and look. One last time. Inhale, exhale, cross, look back at your foot. And then lift your left foot up, swing it over to the outside edge, left side of your mat, tuck your right toes behind you, shift your hips forward and back. And then squeeze into your inner thighs to lift up onto your right shin. Slide your left hand down your left thigh. Reach your right arm up over your right ear. Big breath. And then bring your hands to your hips. Balance on your right knee. Step your left foot forward. Low lunge on the left leg. Grab your blocks, floor, or walk your hands up your thigh just to find a stretch in the front of your right thigh. And then keep your right hand on the floor or the block. Press down into your right hand. Lift your left arm up to the sky. Take some big arm circles, just really mobilizing the areas in the neck and shoulders that tend to get really tense and locked up over a long day of sitting or on the computer. And then point your left hand behind you, bind it behind your back. Let your right ear sink to your right shoulder. Maybe dial your nose forward and back, find a sticky spot. There it is. And breathe. And give yourself one more deep breath. Breathe into your lower back. And exhale. Release your left hand from your back. Shift yourself up to more of a lifted low lunge. Place your left elbow anywhere on top of your left thigh, and then reach your right arm up and over your right ear. Feel a nice side stretch for your whole right side body. And then just gently place your right hand behind your neck, at the top of your neck, and gently lift your neck out of your shoulders. Feel a nice length in the back of your neck as well as a stretch on your right armpit. Inhale. And exhale, round your right elbow towards your left knee. It's probably not going to touch it, and that's okay. Just feel a stretch in the back. Inhale, open your elbow to the ceiling again, reach up. And exhale, round. Keep a gentle tug in your neck, not super intense. One more time like that. Inhale, open. And exhale, close. Nice. Release your hand from the back of your head. Place your hands either on the floor or the blocks. Go ahead and shift your right foot back behind your right hip. Straighten your front leg by shifting your hips back and fold over your left leg. Feel a stretch on the back of your left thigh. You got options if you want to pedal your toes forward and back, left and right. If you want to get into more of your IT band, outer hip, you can lift your left arm up to the ceiling, get a twist. Just 1 or 2 more breaths. And then go ahead and release your hands down to the floor if they were lifted. Remove any blocks or props out of your way. Make your way down to your belly. We're going to do a little pec stretch just to kind of finish it out. You're going to place your right hand to a goalpost position on the floor, and your left hand's just going to be a kickstand. So right hand is to a goalpost. Your right elbow may be an inch or two above the point of your shoulder. And then you're just going to press into your left hand to lift your left hip over your right. Keep a little tuck in your tailbone so your low back stays long as you shift your left leg up and back. Let your right ear just rest on the floor underneath you. Feel a stretch in the front of your left hip. Nice, and then as you exhale, lower to your belly. Let's do the other side. Left arm's at a goalpost, right on the floor to the left. Right hand is at a kickstand, near about where your shoulder point is. And then press into your right hand to lift your right hip over your left. Keep a little rounding in your low back, and your right leg may not go as far as a result, and that's okay. You want to isolate the stretch in the front of your hip. Let your left ear get heavy. I'm not going to do so because my microphone's right there. Big breath. Nice. And then come to your belly. Exhale it out. And then roll over to your back. All right, do whatever feels inviting to kind of recalibrate out of that. Maybe that's a windshield wiper of your knees, or pulling your knees into your chest to give your back a little reprieve. You want to stretch into your outer hips. You can cross your legs as if you're seated in a chair. Grab your shins and gently pull them towards your armpits. You can do the same thing on the other side. Cross the opposite leg over. Keep your knees pulled into your chest. Grab your shins and pull them close to your armpits. Nice. And then release your legs and arms in a full body stretch. Just one last time. Big breath in. And then as you exhale, let your hands just float right beside your hips. Take up space on the floor, on the mat, wherever you are. Just let your body sink in. Take a few natural breaths. Relax your shoulders, hips, belly. Take a moment to feel as much at ease as possible. And then slowly give yourself a little smile because you did it. Awesome. Slowly roll yourself over to one side. Push yourself up to a seat. And then take a second to honor yourself, whether your hands are in prayer, heart and belly, or resting on your legs. Take a moment to honor and acknowledge everything that you are and are doing to support your mental and physical health. It doesn't go unnoticed. And then I take a moment to honor you and acknowledge you. And I hope this practice left you feeling a little bit more at ease, so you can carry on through the rest of your day or evening with a little more grace. Thank you.